just a phase.
Just a phase, 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 just a
Should be alright.
just a phase, just a
Yeah, I'll turn the music down. Got our mics up.
Oh, you do that manually?
Yeah.
He's a boss. What's up?
Hopefully we can hear you. Wait a second. See.
Mic check, mic check. We in there? I think you can hear me. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good to go.
All right. Sound good?
What's up, Phaze?
I'm here once again. My man Tony Ortiz. It's just a Phaze podcast. He's here for the first time, but on the podcast for the second time. So this will be our third podcast. You and Henry have made friends officially now.
He's a lot calmer than he was.
He will
a few
hate you
minutes
if you make any sudden movements. He will hate you.
The success of this podcast depends on if he stays calm and I do what he wants. So
That's
do it.
usually how it goes.
But yeah, we have Phaze on my podcast. So I'm Tony Ortiz at T.O. the Designer. Tony Ortiz the Designer on all platforms. I Will Not Lose podcast is my show. And Phaze came on. That was one of our dope episodes that we had. Just came on, share his story. We played some music. People still hit me up. They hit me up. They'll send me the link. Like, oh man, this is dope. They love that Everything I Want. That track we played.
Yeah.
So, just creating content all around. So you can check out I Will Not Lose at iwillnotlosepodcast.com and subscribe on your favorite podcast player. But enough about me, man. Let's get into it.
I don't even know what we're getting into, but I don't know what's on your mind, what's on your agenda.
I'm on a little hiatus. I didn't post last week. I actually took a little vacation. I traveled down to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, spent some time out there. I saw Bill Burr
Oh, nice. Yeah. That was last night, wasn't it?
last night.
How was that?
Was that last night? I think it was 2 nights ago. Thursday night.
Was it?
If
Man.
Today's Saturday, it
It
was
is.
2 days ago.
Today is Saturday.
But I can't confirm or deny which day it is. Like I said, I've been on a little vacation. Not really celebrating the 4th of July, just kind of taking some time off. I'll be back at it next week.
Nice. You have your guests lined up?
That's the thing. I have a couple guests. We had, John Rocker. You had him on this show.
Yep.
He's on the show. We got that in post-production now. I have a few guests lined up. And then later this month, I'm going to be recording, having some more. It's just a matter of getting the schedule down.
Right. Absolutely.
So if somebody has something they're promoting, like right now John's promoting his research foundation, his laboratory. So that's going to come out a little bit sooner, even though I have some in the tuck. So that should be good. You got to come back on, man.
Yeah, for sure. It's fun to just go off on whatever.
Well, I want to end up having. It's funny because people listen to the show, and they'll hear me talk about Phaze, or they'll hear me talk about Meat Beats, or they'll hear me talk about someone that they'll want to hear them on the show. It's kind of like an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
So as you figure out what it is, what to promote in the Valley, there's all sorts of outlets. People don't see them or use them, but there's all sorts of outlets for people doing whatever. Everybody, let's be honest, everybody has a hustle, and
Yeah, for sure. I be reaching out to people too. Like I see people have podcasts, and I reach out, and then just like nothing transpires a lot of times. And I don't know why. Maybe they don't want to hear me, but
well, you came highly recommended. What's it called? Stefan put us together. I think he was like, you guys should have a conversation. And I'm like, well, if he's asking for it, we definitely have to do it. Plus, I was interested just to hear it from the source. You can't go by somebody's Facebook and get a clear picture of who they are.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially mine.
Yeah.
Specifically mine. And I don't know. I just like to reach out and try to connect and liven people's things up if I can. And I want to have more people on here, like you said. Meat Beats. I ran into him again at the concert.
610 day.
And I want to get him on. I told him, come on. The people want to hear from you, especially within the hip hop community, local community around here, because he doesn't really make appearances. He doesn't really post anything.
I seen him post something. I don't know if it was on Instagram or something. They were cooking in the studio, and I was like, "Wow,
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything in a while, so that's dope. Maybe he's back on it. He's
the
been
elusive
working."
Meat Beats, and
But-
he never really speaks. So I think people will be interested in hearing what he has to say, especially because me and him also have a long history together. When I first came back from Full Sail back to the Valley and stuff, and I linked up with Tug, and Tug was a friend of Meat's, and I was starting my own little studio, and Meat was one of my first studio customers, and he would come around like every day and just pay for studio time and pay for studio time and pay for studio time and bring his own artists, and he's paying for the artist studio time, and he just kept coming around. And eventually when I linked up with Rick and stuff, and Meat kept coming around, and we liked his work, and we were like, you spend a lot of money with us, and we like what you do, so let's like start a whole thing. And then we teamed up as like 3 producers, and we had a bunch of artists under us, and then we came out with the one compilation album in like 07, 08 or something like that.
There's definitely way more artists than producers. 'Cause you know of
Yeah.
the producers, they put a lot of work in. So
Yeah, there's producers around here too, but not many actually like pick a artist and like we're a team and
That's
and
true.
do projects together. There's a bunch of people who like sell beats to other people, and most of the time you'll never hear those songs. But I don't know. There's a dude that I like, Zero. I've been working with him a little bit for some of my stuff, and he linked up with Murdoch.
okay.
They have a couple projects out that are really good. Tubbs been doing it for a long time around,
Yeah,
even though
shout
he
out to
hasn't
Tubbs.
he never really linked with an artist or anything, but he's just out there in the ether.
Selling
Who else
beats.
is a producer that like really locks in with an artist around here? There's not really many.
Well, I have to do. I mean, I'll be the first to say I have to do more research. But I've been checking in. I've been listening to a lot of the local artists that were on that Empower 610 Day.
Mm-hmm.
They threw them on the playlist, and I went and right there. That's why it's crazy nowadays. I just went right on Spotify, looked people up, followed them, followed their last project.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then I've been as I've been working and designing, I've been listening to different stuff. 8-Town Slim as well. Just listen to his project, your project on the way up here.
Absolutely. You were saying you've been going through the archives too.
Yeah.
So going back and listening, because I had said, I don't know, a week or two ago, just like looking back on all the work that we've done and how many people haven't heard like the back catalog, just putting out so many projects. Like they have like 10 projects between like Devin and Slim. It's just nuts.
In my liked songs.
Nice.
Welcome back.
Classic.
And I just play. I go right to the competition, Slim 3, and just play it right from the beginning to the end. It fit perfectly on the ride too. I was Quality Vibes played like right as I was pulling up, so that worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it's a you keep it a good length, so you do a nice little drive, and it fills the entire drive space.
Oh man, you know what else? I've been waking up. When I wake up, I throw on No Regrets, Don Dollar. Play that. That just gets me hyped up for the day.
Me and him are supposed to work too. He hit me.
Oh, that
We have done stuff in the past, but it never got out. So he hopped up on a couple things before that ended up not making the. It was a remix, I think. We didn't put out the remix, but we'll get there. He's a long time Lehigh Valley legend too, going back to when he battled GQ back in like, I don't even know what year that was, 2002 or something.
Dom was battling back when I was at least 2003, 2002 when we were in high school.
Yeah.
So always known him for that. Definitely evolved. I love the new music.
I want to make sure you're you might gotta be a little bit closer to the mic.
All right, I got you. Don't mean to be muttering. Little technical difficulties. Like I said, I do run a podcast. I will not lose, but I have no mic technique or know how to rock on the mic at all. But yeah, I thought I was messing with it and throwing the stuff. I got all my attention on Henry here. But no, Bill Burr went in, man. He was talking about the submarine. I'm not going to give any of his content away, but definitely if you get a chance, go and see that. Had a great time. I'm trying to think who his opener was. I'll have to look it up. He had a guy with him that opened up, had similar cadence to him. He had us laughing. But it was dope. They made us lock the phones up and everything. You ever been to a show like that where they put it inside a little pouch?
Yeah. I went to see Dave Chappelle when he came to Reading. I don't know what year that was. 2016 or 17 or something like that. Might have been even 15. I don't know.
That's a big name.
It was before the first specials that he did with Netflix, the Big Deal one.
Yeah.
It was like 2 years before that. So when it came out, I was like, oh, these are just all the jokes we heard when we went to see him.
Yeah, that's the way it works. That's why I said I'm not going to give any. I mean, I feel like Burr kind of wrote, obviously his style, he goes off and he'll kind of like throw in something local or throw in something that just happened, so it's kind of current. Mm-hmm. So that's where the submarine joke came up. Obviously, he was on tour before that whole thing happened, so
yeah, you gotta throw in the I just keep thinking of the main event now. I don't have a good command of words right now.
You said the main event?
Current event. That's what I meant to say. You got to throw in the current events just to get people going a little bit, especially in local things. And then they'll throw in, their experience of where they're performing and try to relate to the crowd a little bit. So they always throw in that type of stuff. But I've seen... who else did I see? Fuck. Tom Segura
Oh,
came
nice.
out to the Wind Creek before. He was good, and who's the King of Queens guy?
King of Queens guy. I know who you're talking about, but I don't want to throw names out because I don't.
I forget it. I forget his name all the time too. But I seen the King of Queens guy.
Once
and-
you're the King of Queens guy, let's be honest, you're
Yeah.
the King of Queens guy. But shout
But-
out, somebody's yelling at us in the comments right now, dropping it. I mean,
he was his stand up was really good,
yeah.
surprisingly, and his opener was really good too. Who else have I seen comedy wise?
You know Andrew Schultz?
Mm-hmm.
He's coming to Wind Creek in July. I think July 28th.
Schultz is pretty funny.
Yeah, I got tickets to see him.
Everybody was hype about that other dude. What's his name? That came to Allentown a couple weeks ago.
I don't know who came.
Why do I think of the name Ralph? It's not Ralph though.
Rife?
Rife. Matt
Oh,
Rife.
I didn't know he came to Allentown.
Yeah, he came to.
I'm not familiar with his work. Somebody said he went viral. Has he been put? I'm sure he's been putting in work for a while. But
Yeah, he has a lot of viral clips and stuff going around right now. Since he's one of the new younger comedians on the rise, people get excited for him, and I think the girls
was
like
it
him
like
and stuff.
TikTok or
Yeah,
like
all
he
that type
went
of
nuts
stuff.
on TikTok or?
Yeah, that's how it goes now. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know.
No. I post content to that stuff. I don't find myself going nuts. I hopped on Threads. Are you on Threads? Did
No.
I ask you that?
No, I was thinking about it, and I don't know if it's gonna survive long.
No, it's not about if it's gonna survive
just-
long or not. It's like it's because there's like no barrier to entry. You
Right.
just click link your Instagram.
Yeah, and that's it.
It's just like, all right, cool. So yeah, no, I agree. It may or may not fizzle out, but I think it's just fun for now, where everybody's attention is on it. Like you're gonna get way more. People
get
up.
bored, especially in the valley. Like nobody really ever caught on to Twitter around here.
Yeah.
It's been around since like 2009, and like nobody's on Twitter around here.
No, back then, 2009, maybe like till maybe 11 or 12, I was heavy on the Twitter. I was actually meeting people, like, because you could find people from the valley on Twitter.
Yeah.
They would hold tweet ups, and people could come in. You could share your @ so it's like you'd meet someone in networking, but then you also had their Twitter, so you could follow and see what crazy. And Twitter was crazy back then. I don't know how it's got. Now I don't know what.
I don't think
what's there now.
too many people never really caught on it, and from what I've seen with Twitter, but I feel like at least our generation really gravitated to Facebook because of all the drama and stuff like that, and then Instagram more, and now it's pretty much dead. There's like no growth in Instagram, and Facebook is pretty much just a messaging app now. And
There's, if not for Reels, like that's the only thing. I post Reels.
yeah,
Um,
and I think they're trying to get away from that as well, because it's the short form content never lasts long. Like you remember Vine, where you would
Yeah.
make like the 6-second videos.
But
It just doesn't last. You can't monetize those things because it's just too short.
yeah. But I mean,
Nobody
the
pays attention
but
to
look
them.
at it like this though. The stars came out of Vine. Like even though Vine as a platform didn't go, like
some
the
people
Paul
did.
brothers and all that. Like,
Yeah.
Of course, it's not going to be everybody. There's a lot of people that were just putting vines out, but that's the thing with content creation. Like, there's people that are taking their engagement from Instagram, and everybody's trying to figure Threads out right now.
Right.
So it's super funny. It's like,
I like the fact that they're trying to go back to like a written form of social media, like Facebook and Twitter, and not so
Yeah.
much like people posting stories and shorts and reels, because
Well, they're gonna.
not everybody likes taking videos of themselves.
Who says they're not? They could be dropping the reels. Like nobody, they don't know what it's gonna be just yet. Like they
No.
could have put up roadmap for what's what, but it's gonna depend on what the users are doing and what people are engaging with. If we, like,
That's true.
I seen one. It said, "Don't come here trying to sell your shit. Nobody wants to see that." Like,
Right.
And I I don't know what you'd call it, rethreaded it or whatever.
I think it's a dumb name. That's why I don't think it's gonna last.
He said because of the name. He
Yeah.
gives it 6 months. So what's your call? We're going on record here. You think 6 months, 3 months?
I don't know. It depends on how much money they're putting behind it, because shit could fucking make no money for years, and it just hangs in there.
They just have it going.
Yeah. So who knows? Facebook has lasted this long.
That's what I'm saying. If they go, like, they always have that play. If they're like, oh, not enough people use Instagram, they'll pull
But
people in from Facebook.
I just don't know what it's bringing to the table that's different, other than it's literally just a new app.
All right, so you get a dopamine response when people engage with your shit, and this is the heroin right now.
Is it?
Because I don't know, like,
Just because it's new?
there's no, it's back to that chronological timeline. So you see stuff from famous people, whatever, and the thing about it is influencers and all that,
Mhm.
they're trying to figure it out right now too. So I believe if you go and engage or comment or rethread or whatever, I think they're more looking into who's the community on this, like what are the followers.
Right.
I don't know. Now that part's not going to last long. People are going to think they have it figured out or whatnot. And I don't think if your goal is promotion and selling something, I don't think you go and like people are like, hey, I just joined Threads to tell you that I got this and I'm selling flyers and business cards. Like I don't.
Right.
I just want to. I want to laugh, I want to be entertained, and I want to see people replying to my stuff. So that in that way that Twitter was fast and you can see every single activity that
Right.
somebody liked your thing or whatever. I don't know, but I give it for myself about a week till I'm bored with it. Like whatever everybody else does with it. But same thing, like I didn't want to get pulled. Do you don't feel pulled to TikTok? Like
No, not really, because for myself personally, I'm more of a writer. Like I like to type my thoughts,
okay.
and even though I'm doing a video podcast right now,
That's
and
what I
shit,
was saying. Yeah,
But
like you.
this is just something like and I've always done a podcast like with like you sitting next to me for the most part until recently.
Yeah.
So it's always been like a more social gathering, get up with my friend and talk shit, instead of like doing this and talking to the void. I always felt was weird to me, and I can't always get
Yeah.
across my thoughts, or whatever people want to call them, trolls or whatever. I can more carefully word things, or not carefully word things on purpose to elicit some sort of reaction, as
Yeah, I
opposed
mean-
to I don't know, I just don't think people watch that content really, specifically like on Facebook or Instagram.
Definitely.
The stories, people just skip through your shit, like they see your face and they go, no, next, and people just skip through your stories. They don't care, and people get hyped because they had like 100 views on their story, and it's like, yeah, 99 of them just skipped it though.
Yeah, there's not much value. I mean, it depends on what sort of currency you're looking for. Like, if there's people posting pictures of themselves or their body and they're checking to see in their
Right.
stories who saw them, like, if you think about it, it's almost a creepy ass way of
Yeah.
like, rather than liking and engaging with it, I'm seeing who just saw it.
Right.
And then going in and seeing
It's
each of those
like a-
people and seeing their profile and who they are and why they're looking at me.
It's an agitation. it promotes agitation and like, oh, I see you've seen my shit and you didn't like it.
Yeah, that's the part that you could miss me with the social media. Like that's the part I never got super into. But for real, Reddit, not enough. I can't believe how many people aren't talking about Reddit with all this. Like, hey, there's a new social media coming out. Like Reddit's never in the conversation. It's always Facebook, Instagram.
No, because it's a messaging board, and people don't visit websites anymore like that. Well, the average person.
People hate the app. I feel you. There's like, you don't find emojis on Reddit. It's crazy. It's definitely a desktop thing, but I surf it on my phone.
Yeah.
That's where I'll suck my time into, man. Like you just, cause it's anonymous. So people post wild shit and you kind of tailor the board to what you want to see. So and then half the time I want to take the stuff from Reddit and post it on Facebook. I'm like, that would be funny.
That's what people do. That's what like the bigger accounts that get traction do. A lot of people just steal shit, and
you have to,
and then get, I don't know what they get out of it, but everybody steals memes and stuff. No,
it's easy for me to just push rethread or whatever, just push a button,
right?
And that's me pretty much. I don't got to type it. I don't have to copy and paste it. I don't got to screenshot it and edit this out and add my tag to it. Just boom, push a button, and now you guys know what I'm thinking and what I'm into. I'm like, that idea has been done before and it worked. Like you remember when that was Twitter just in the beginning, and like,
and Facebook too. Like people share stuff, but the thing is like because of monetization, they throttle so much shit that you're not allowed to reach so many people unless you pay for it.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, you can be engaging and know how to come up with engaging content and all that, but yeah, payment, I mean, the numbers I get, I run paid ads, like that's what I do, and the numbers that you get for it, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Right. It's like hitting the lottery. Like if something of yours goes not viral, but even like semi gets some traction at all, it's like hitting the lottery. Like I said that because Devin texted me the other day, and he's like, ever since I've been posting about like my album, there's like no interaction with these things I'm posting. I'm like, yeah, because somehow it can see you're trying to promote something, and they want you to pay for it. So you're gonna get throttled. It's gonna show up on less timelines because you're promoting something, and they want you to pay for promotion.
That you might absolutely be right with that.
You have to be more sneaky with your promo if you're not trying to pay.
I think I interacted with that post though, or I at least saw it. I think he had posted something similar about that.
Like I always see it because, we're in communication and I like his stuff, so it occurs on mine. But to get the outside engagement to the people you're trying to reach, he doesn't need to reach me. I already know.
Right. Well, he started I don't know if I followed 8-Town Slim. I forget what happened, but all of a sudden Devin started showing up crazy in my timeline.
Yeah.
Maybe I was liking the post. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't spend a ton of time. Facebook just got weird. Like it just got weird. So some people are doing one-liners. Some people are doing, I don't know, but I spend enough time on it. Like I feel connected to people. What's that word for it? Like I don't know if you're actually connected, but you feel like you know what's going on with this person, or
right. It's like a little community. It's because I think like around the time it started to come out, like 05, 06, and then you were only allowed to be on it if you had like a college email or something like that.
Yeah, that's how I remember that when it started.
Yeah, so
that Facebook was wild. Were you in that? Were you?
Yeah, I was on it then. And then, because nobody was really on it then, besides like if you had some like college buddies who were also on it, but nobody from like
I
in
remember
town.
people buying and selling drugs on
my
Facebook.
gosh, I'm sure they
Like,
were.
This is
But
where
I wasn't
party's
on,
at.
I wasn't on it that tough then. I just like had a page because I could have it,
Yeah.
and nobody really knew how to use it then, the way that they do now. Everybody was on MySpace, and then once Facebook started to take off more with all the normal people who weren't in college and stuff, they opened it up, and they started to MySpace started to integrate like status updates. Remember?
I don't
Like,
know
they
if
tried
I
to
was
do-
on MySpace then. Was that when it was black and white, when the background switched to like black and white? Was that with the whole MySpace revival, or was this back when you still had glitter backgrounds? And
Yeah, all types of shit. So you
Diamonds
could
raining
make
down
glitter
and
backgrounds and stuff.
diamonds.
But once Facebook started to take off, MySpace also tried to like take some pages out their book and do like status updates. Like you could do a
Okay.
status update on your MySpace, and I was like, I don't want to do status updates. The fuck am I? Because when you had your MySpace page, it was basically like you're just like running your own little website, and nobody was
Yeah.
like a internet personality. So I was like, what am I post?
That you're what you're doing, what
Right.
you're drinking, where you're walking. I don't know. It's weird what we post just in general. Like who?
So since they opened it up, from then, it kind of became the like high school reunion. It's like a constant high school reunion on Facebook.
Yeah.
All the people who you would never really interact with, but you know loosely, is in your life now on Facebook. And it's kind of just been like I don't know. It's just been like a drama circle ever since.
I don't know.
That's what people pay
It's-
attention to. It promotes the negativity, anything to get people riled up a little bit.
I mean, that's what
gains the most.
that's what's gonna get
traction.
the engagement.
Yeah.
That's what's people want to like. I don't know. Even if you just like it, or even if you just post the little eyes, that's what changed the game. You know, you just post the eyes in the comments so you can see what other people are commenting.
Yeah.
But I like it for family. I like being able to see what my family's up to. I feel like
Yeah, because we're
you
older
know,
now, so
yeah, I mean, I do want to get all my albums. Like, I use it too much for photos. Like,
Right.
oh, these photos are gonna last forever because they're on Facebook. Like,
yeah, no, they're
I
not.
gotta drop that, put it in a hard drive somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Because, like, MySpace is the example. You go back on there, and there's still some stuff on there if you find your old page. But I don't remember my login or anything like that. So it's
I
like
don't remember my MySpace.
you could
at
try
all.
to get some things off of there. And the same thing will happen with Facebook. They'll fade out eventually and not be able to pay for their servers, and then shit'll disappear. It'll just be lost. So yeah, get your shit off and try to save it.
I've been posting the positive reels. I wanted to go over
I
a
wanna
reel
say-
with you. I have a couple reels that I cut back when we did our episode that I want to post. But I
Yeah.
wanted to, for some reason I watched them and I was like, oh, I probably wanted to check with him before I post this. I mean,
Yeah, no, I don't
it's
care.
already a
Post
part of
whatever.
the episode, but I'm gonna because like I said, it's hard to come off vacation.
Yeah.
Even this making content now, this is dope. This feels good getting back
Yeah,
into
you got to
it
get
and-
back. You got to get a little running start before you hop right back into it, and then you catch a momentum at once you start really jogging.
Right. But people see me, I was just at dinner with some cousins from South Carolina, or I'm trying to think where my wife's cousins were from. And she's like, oh yeah, I follow your show. I check stuff out. So there's people that you don't even know that are listening to it that
For
see
sure.
the reels or see something and they're just like, all right, that's cool. I'm not asking anybody to buy anything. People might get pissed off. Oh wow, he's asking me to watch a video. How long is that video? I'm like, dude, that's fine. It's not for you. You don't have to
Right.
support it that way. But like, just double tap on the reel. Like
Mhm.
that's all you have to do to show support. Like,
It's not much. I think it's funny too the way you see or find out what type of person someone is when you send them something, depending on the length of it.
yeah.
You send them a podcast that's an hour or two, and they go, that's like an hour? I got to pay attention to something for an hour? And you're like, it's not for you then.
Well, you know what? I'll give it to sometimes people like I'm blessed. I'm in a position where I'm pretty much in front of a computer. I could give my attention to
Right.
something, even just the audio. I really don't watch videos while I'm working, but I'll throw a podcast on instead of listening to music while I'm designing something. Sure. But I can consume a 3-hour podcast in the morning. That's
Right.
just a morning.
Exactly.
But if let's say you're working in a warehouse or somewhere you can't have headphones in, you can't really can you have
Yeah.
headphones in a warehouse?
Some of
Maybe
them, I would think so.
at least one
Depends.
in or something.
Yeah.
But you know, if let's say I only had 3 hours a day to give attention to something outside of my work, I don't want to watch Lex Friedman. I
Right.
would, but I'm not speaking for myself. I can understand how somebody would be like, man, don't you have something quick or short? But
Yeah.
it's that, I don't want to say it like the ADHD attention span, but that short attention span, that's kind of the audience you have to be good at building. If
Yeah, you
wanna,
have to like attack all attention spans with content. Like you have, like you said, your clips, and you have the long form version, you got the short form version, you got the medium form version. And
I like the people that checked in and heard us talking for a second. They're like, oh, okay, they're talking. And then like half an hour later, they're like, oh, they're still talking? I wonder what they're talking about.
Right.
And then they jump into the conversation. But
I was listening to, I forget who I was listening to, but they were talking about attention spans and how people say that they're supposedly getting shorter, but it depends on really the quality of the content of what people are willing to invest their time in. Because before, we used to watch like TV shows and they're a half hour long. And now people watch these gigantic series like Game of Thrones and whatever else you can think of that's like 4 seasons long, and every single episode is basically a movie.
yeah, full feature length film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to pay attention to this thing, and you know people will binge watch it too. So they'll spend all day watching this series that's for 8 hours.
But that's a narrative, a story that
Right,
takes
so
time to build out, just like a conversation does.
Exactly. So it's like, is the attention span shorter, or are they just? It's just a different attention span, or people are pickier with what they choose to pay attention to.
I'm not a psychologist, but I think people are chasing a very specific response to content. They're like, make me laugh. And if I could just scroll and laugh more times per minute than I can scrolling through Facebook getting angry, then I'm going to go towards that.
I feel like TikTok is like, is very like monkey-brained response, because it's just all short. You could do this forever, and anyone can get it. Just like taps into your like primate brain of dopamine, where you're like, ha ha ha, next one, ha ha ha.
True. Or there's some people probably following specific stuff and they get little tidbits of great information that's filtered down into a 6-second or 30-second. I think you get a minute on TikTok. I don't know either. But I'm pretty sure it's a minute. Like I've scrolled and I've done some stuff, and there are some people putting out content. I mean, it's
You ever run into these ones? I don't know if it's on TikTok or anything, but it comes across like Facebook all the time, where it's a video of someone trying to build something or make something like food wise, and the video goes nowhere. Like they never
for like
finish.
20
They
minutes.
never finish it. And you're like,
Yep.
oh, I'm wondering what they're gonna
Yep.
come up with, and then they do like all
Yep.
these pump fakes to finishing it, kind of, and then they
Yep.
just keep like adding on to it, and it
It's
never
brilliant.
stops.
It's brilliant.
But it's all of them
No.
are like shot a specific way too,
Yeah.
that I really can't figure out like how
Why?
they do it,
Yeah.
because it always makes me want to watch it.
I didn't
And-
even look for how long it was. Like, you know how when you see a video, you check how long is this shit before I watch it.
Right.
I didn't even look to see how long it was. I just was
Until
watching
you're like
for
3
a minute,
minutes in,
and then I'm
you're
like, wait, what am I doing? And then you look like, wait, this is 18 minutes,
yeah,
and then you're like,
it doesn't finish. It
Well-
just ends at some point. And you don't see the final product ever.
or it's not that exciting. I watched one where the guy had an egg yolk, and he cracked an egg yolk over a bunch of matches, and he had them stuck like this. And he's like, I'm gonna light the matches, and he went through a whole box of matches. Like,
Right.
I'm gonna light it, and then he'd light another one, and the match would burn down. And he's explaining how
Yeah.
cool it's gonna be when he lights this.
Right.
And I was like 3 minutes in. I skipped to 12 minutes. I was like, he still didn't light this.
No.
But when I zoomed to when he did light it. Now think about this: you're running into that video because someone's doing a live and trolling people for 20 minutes, and then they post the actual video, and you're watching.
Man, like what? They're getting paid for this? Like, who's doing this and why?
Hey, I guess you can't hate the player, hate the game.
Oh my god, yo, it's so nuts. I can hate. I'll hate the player. I hate the player and the game.
I mean, so who you got for Zuck versus Musk?
I don't know. Zuckerberg has been training for a while,
Yeah, yeah, he has.
and
He's been in tournaments competing for a bit as
Ye-
well.
yeah. I think Elon probably lose. He seems fat and lazy.
I don't know. Maybe I think he's been training a little. No, I'm not even going to try to pretend to give a shred. If it were real, if it was a real thing, there's nothing you could really do against training MMA for a long period of time.
He just doesn't
versus-
seem athletically coordinated to me.
Even if he was, I
Just
mean,
his
look
movements.
at size-wise. What has he got, like 50 pounds on him? I mean, he's a...
Yeah, but if you can't fight, you can't fight.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, if you can't fight, you can't fight. There's no doubt that like weight has a huge amount to do with fighting. Like
For sure.
whether you're just striking, especially when you're
But
grappling.
Zuck will probably put on some weight.
I mean, 50 pounds is he wouldn't though. Jiu-jitsu, the cool thing about it is it doesn't really like use leverage. Like small people can use jiu-jitsu on somebody larger than them.
Right. Just taking them down is going to be a little bit harder.
It depends. You stand on two legs. Someone will wrap your leg and
Yeah.
put their leg around your hip, cut behind your knee, and drop you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's obviously you don't want to go engaging with.
I
you
would
don't
think.
don't engage with people. Just don't.
No,
don't fight with
I would
people.
think like a trained fighter. Like I've played basketball my whole life, and I can usually tell just by observing somebody like walking if they could play basketball or not, to a degree.
Right.
So I'm sure like a trained fighter who's been fighting all their life, I don't know if he has, but they could probably tell just by looking at somebody like, maybe
To
he
an
could fight.
extent.
Or-
I could
or-
tell if somebody wrestled. Like if somebody wrestled in the Lehigh Valley.
Right, you'd be
I
like,
could
just because
tell
the way
by
they stand,
just
the
by
way
the
they
way their
walk.
stance, the way they're walking. And honestly, sometimes I could be like, what were you, like 52? Like you see a guy who weighs like 170 pounds. You're like, I could see him 20 pounds lighter in his fighting weight. Like he's
Right.
probably based on his height and build. But no, you also don't underestimate anyone because like there's some people that look awkward as fuck.
Oh, for sure.
And then you see them on the mat and it's just completely different. Their technique is just like even like Ben Askren, they call him like funky. You know what I mean? It's an unorthodox style. So
Yeah.
if you're trained at seeing everything rigid the way it's supposed to be, and now somebody's
Right.
coming and shifting it up.
Yeah,
but
there's always the anomalies.
I don't think Musk is that anomaly. I guess is.
I don't think so
where I
either.
was
He
trying to
looks
go with that.
he doesn't look coordinated to me.
But even if he, so this would be, even if he would go in and sell it to us that he could possibly win, it would. No fighter, nobody who does fighting gets to train for a short amount of time and get a payout like that payout would be. Now, I don't know if it's going for charity or what or whatever,
Right.
but you almost can't back down from getting your ass whooped for charity. Like,
I don't know if that's ever gone down. Like, they supposedly have way too much money to be playing around, fucking fighting.
I mean, I don't know. It's pretty safe.
If they can do that, then it to me it kind of does away with the illusion that they actually do a lot of like actual work.
I
Like
guess-
that you have so much time on your hands that you could pick a fight with another billionaire and train for this fight.
Well,
Like, they really don't-
Zuck's
don't
already
do
been
shit.
Zuck's already been training, so I could understand why a fighter would be like, "All right, wherever." Like, it is what it is. So it
He's
makes
already ready.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it doesn't. It's not like they were. Oh, like you know what would be funny if because Threads stole Twitter and this whole lawsuit or whatever, if they end up getting into a fight because of like
They
if
should
that
just,
was
like-
the predecessor.
They
like,
should just put the stakes up like the loser shuts their company down.
what? No, that's a terrible idea.
Why not? If I was fighting another dude with a competing platform, I would be like, all right, we're going to fight. And the
You're not-
loser shuts their shit down.
You're not putting up your house or your computer. You're saying the livelihood, the stakes of all these employees.
They'll be all right.
You gotta just shut it down.
Down.
Maybe they get to go to the other billionaire. You got to pay their pension and their severance package, and they come and work
They
for
already,
me now.
They already got enough.
Zuck could start building electric cars.
They already got enough. They don't need it.
Do they have a flying car? I don't know what's real anymore
No.
when I see stuff when I scroll, but
No, it's if they do, it's probably like I mean, they do. It's called a plane.
no, this is it gets land miles and you could fly. So I don't know if like it was like
That's never gonna happen. People can't even drive on land well.
Oh no, man!
I'm not trusting an Asian lady behind the wheel of
Now,
a flying car.
I can't say I saw a video of it actually flying, but I think I saw at least some schematics or CGI that looked real. But I don't know, man. That's the only thing we could do next. Where else could we go technologically? Like,
I don't know. I don't think we need to go anywhere really.
no,
Where do we need? We don't need to go anywhere. I don't know.
no. But the fact is that like people are driven by wanting to make money and capitalize. So that's like the only industry. That's the only industry you could crack into that would be like a crazy, like if everybody had to get a flying car, if that's just the way it was, like how everybody has an automobile, or
I feel like the crisis is really gonna be, what are we making money for? Especially with this is what's really going to happen with the acceleration of AI is a lot of these jobs that the wealthy used to do are insignificant anymore because a computer's a better calculator than a person.
okay,
like
Like
stock market,
yeah, stock market's fucked.
speculators, accountants, you name it.
No, I'm not-
Whatever the highest paying CEOs do and all the top level jobs.
I'm at risk, bro.
Yeah, like
I'm at risk. The digital marketing, I can't do that better than a computer.
Yeah, so all of that's going to go away. And what they thought was going to go away is not going to go away because we still need people to do these things. Like, we need people with hands to, like, garden.
Yeah. yeah.
We still need to make food. We still need to gather eggs and all these types of things and build homes. We don't need people to speculate on Wall Street. That's something we don't need. Those jobs are going to go away. All they do is like pump and dump scams anyway. So it's like they've been riding high on the hog for a long time just because most people aren't good at math. And now the computers are going to be doing that.
Have you used ChatGPT for anything like that? Like anything crazy?
No. I haven't gotten into it really.
All right. I didn't realize how crazy I went with it till my buddy was like, how many chats you have? And I opened it up and I showed him. Bro, I have it doing everything. I had it, I spent money on a Facebook campaign and I gave it all the numbers and the cost per click and all that sort of shit and told it to optimize if I triple the budget, what would it do? And not only did it give me, it was like, put this into this, put that into that, because this did that, and you don't want to runaway cost per lead. But before it did that, it asked me, how many of those people converted?
Right.
How many of those, and it asked me clarifying questions to say, well, how much are any of these conversions worth more than other ones? Because this link click that you got here at 47 cents is where I would actually put this much money into that. I was like, oh, that's crazy, bro. I believe it. I'm like, it gave me the reasoning. It didn't just give me the numbers. When a calculator goes, when you be like, what's 2 plus 2? And a calculator would be like 4. You'd be like, okay, it's 4. Obviously put a more crazy equation in there, but you don't question how it came up with that. Like, that's just the answer. It's math. When you're doing stuff that takes reasoning and you try to get the computer to help out with that, it's like ChatGPT is ridiculous with reasoning.
Right. So I think all that stuff's gonna go away eventually. They're just holding on to it because it'll really like collapse the system that we currently live in, because there's a completely different like moral motive then once you take these things away from the people who've been running these systems and they've gained their fortunes on these things. So naturally they don't want their jobs to go away just like anybody else.
I wonder if there's a middle ground where they're going to be using the AI. Maybe the rich will get richer with AI.
Oh, for sure.
We don't give enough credit to the rich. They've been doing a pretty damn good job at staying rich.
It's just going to keep going to the point of ridiculousness, even though it already kind of has.
No, it's already hands down ridiculous.
Right.
Look, just in case my contract's listening in, we all realize we're going away soon. All of my contracts, you guys have to realize I'm completely replaceable with AI. That's why I'm learning how to use it. If you want to get ahead of the curve, holler at me, Tony Ortiz, the designer. Quick shameless plug.
Yeah.
No, because there's nothing you could do, dude. You can't. I have a segment where I do if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah.
Where I go a little off topic and I just talk about AI.
Once somebody creates an app to streamline it more to where you don't necessarily have to know the prompts. Like, this is what's all getting figured out now, like what you're doing with how am I going to maximize this ad campaign or something like that. Once you get all the prompts right and all you have to do is take that coding or prompt and put it into an app and somebody just has to go, I want 5 million views by now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the AI takes over and gets it done. What are we really doing? And then people get paid off of that. And then especially with bots and everything, like,
But
are they going to be
bro,
able to tell? Oh.
like, you have Alexa and Google, and they're like really, really, really low quality if you want to even call them AIs. You know what I mean? It's pretty much just a chatbot at that point.
Right.
And you have it controlling your house, changing your temperature, turning your cameras on and off, controlling your fish tank. Like, imagine just when they put, dude, if I had ChatGPT in my car, just to be able to talk to it and just break certain stuff out and just have a fucking computer that's reasoning with me if I want to work through something, that gets like really scary. Because
Like, why isn't there not just that? Like, going back to what we were talking about before, where things get to the point of ridiculous as far as the way our monetary system works with like compound interest and investing. Why couldn't I give an AI whatever, just pick a penny stock or something? Like, I want to invest, just let's take the lowest form, a penny. Turn this penny into $1 million.
They
via
already
compound
did stuff like
interest.
that.
Yeah.
They already did stuff. So what they did was they
at that point, if everybody can do that, what are we doing?
So I'll tell you
And
what,
for what?
like, I think the human factor, I'm not giving any stock advice. I really don't know much about it. I hold a little bit of crypto, dude. Don't listen to me. But for some reason, I feel like a lot of human behavior affects the stock market. Things like fear, things like greed and stuff.
For
and
sure.
people, like, there's more to it. So the computer can't predict that. It can be
Right.
like, okay,
But
based off the
once
numbers,
those things change, it can make adjustments.
Yeah, I'm sure it could make a prediction. Now all of a sudden a billionaire comes and dumps a bunch into this, and then it says, "Oh, well, I can probably look at how many times billionaires have done
once
this
it starts
historically."
to fall, once it starts to fall enough, like bail, pick
Find
up
a-
on the next one it's been paying attention to. Just switch lanes like a car. Like if there's a bunch of lanes on the highway,
it could definitely do
and you
that
see
better than a human.
a pile up down the road, you hop off, get into the next lane.
I mean, look, I feel like the people have access to that before us. Like, put it this way,
They've been doing
ChatGPT, there's still people that haven't messed around with it. This is nothing to you,
Right.
but there's a lot of people like you that haven't really sat down and messed with it and done it. I happen to work in front of a computer, so
Right.
I'm curious. I play with things. I break things. That's just what I do as a creative. So I keep on. I'm like, yup, bullshit. There's no way. And I type it in. I'm like, oh shit. And all of a sudden it could do this. I'll give you let me think of if something comes up, another example. I'll give you an idea how I've been using it. It sucks for lyrics. You can't use it for
Yeah.
writing lyrics or do anything like that, but to give it like numbers
That
and have
type
it
of
do
shit takes-
calculations and word
Yeah.
problems.
It takes away all the fun out of shit, especially create, like, if you could have it write lyrics for you or something like that. Like, I run into those issues just making beats and stuff. It's like once you come up with a formula and you get tapped in really to that and you start making like 1,000 beats the same type of way, then you're like, it doesn't motivate you anymore. You're like, I do this and then I do this and I do that. It just becomes like an assembly line, and it's not fun then at that point. So if you had people would exploit it, having an AI write their lyrics and then just have a singer sing it, or maybe not even, maybe an AI fucking sing it. Just hit fucking generate. Here's your pop song. If it's good, nobody cares.
That's the scary part, probably. I don't know if people care about the process so
But is that
much. Like,
that's not fun? Like, I don't know. That's like soul crushing work. It's like, what am I doing if all I do is hit this button and like good shit comes out.
So I'll compare it in my profession. A couple years ago, the template game came out. It was like all of a sudden they made it accessible to get templates that you can build off of and kind of finish your design.
Right.
Designers are like, no, that's not designing. You
Right.
can't do it. And I'm like, all right, if I was a carpenter and you want me to build you that cabinet over there, right? I'm not going to be like, well, do you grow your own trees? Do you do you source your trees, grow your trees, cut them down, turn
Right.
them
We
into what
have
you're
an
going to do?
idea
Like,
of what
they
a
buy
cabinet
processed
is.
they buy processed wood and they turn it into a cabinet. Like the carpenter just knows how to work with the woods. I
Right.
think
It's a rectangle every time.
right. I mean, they could go off the rails and start doing something ridiculous, but there's parts of the process in anything that you make.
Right. So you think we're getting to the point of like redundancy in design?
Curators, we're all DJ Khaled's.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. That's what I'm saying. But like,
Did y'all hear that? Why does he need that?
I know I want to throw them all in prison. But it's like nobody's reinventing the cabinet. Like, I mean, I guess some people might be like, "Oh, let's do fucking circle cabinets." But when you're building the house and you're designing the kitchen, all the cabinets are rectangles for the most part. And
Right.
you know, there's a door, there's the little fixtures. It's just the point of picking colors, picking the little fixtures,
You gotta do all that.
designing the frame.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a rectangle with a door. So that's kind of the same with a flyer. It's the same with an album cover or a song. It's like, okay, we have a chorus, we have a verse, we have drums, we have melody. But now
there's wiggle room to
right.
make those your own.
Yeah.
That's what creation is.
You still paint on a canvas, which is another rectangle. So
yeah,
it's like
oh, the Mona Lisa. That's not a work of art unless he stretched the canvas himself.
right.
Like,
Yeah, no, you don't have to build the canvas. But
then you just you got to do the same thing you would do otherwise. Ignore trends. Like if something don't go with something that's the trend. Like that can be templated out.
yeah.
It's you take pieces like what I like. Do you know how people walk through the dollar store, buy a bunch of cheap shit, and then make something beautiful out of, like they curate it and put it together?
Mm-hmm.
I may go and be like, all right, I like this from there, I like that, but just the way that background is, that color, yep, I'm gonna steal that just because I want this to be orange and teal. That's a popular, like nobody. Somebody would be like, oh, that's orange and teal, and his is orange and teal. You don't like, you can't copyright the colors. But you find yourself putting things together, and that
Yeah, I feel like intellectual property, a lot of it is pretty bullshit.
the idea of intellectual property, like
There's-
you owning some intellectual property, or you mean like, what do you clarify?
I think about it with in regards to like with what I do with like making beats and sampling and stuff like that. So I'm legally not allowed to sample without permission.
Right.
But with like publishing like a book, it's kind of I'm not sure if I'm 100% on this, but you can reprint somebody's book
No.
and put it out if you repackage it.
What do you mean? Like take the stuff from their book, or you mean literally reprint their book, like pirate their book?
Yeah, and sell it.
You can't do that.
You sure?
Yeah.
I've heard something where you can do it.
Maybe maybe for like biblical texts, or if you're doing
if you're like a publishing company and you want to reprint, I don't know, Maybe it just has to be public
maybe
domain.
it has to be old. Yeah, maybe like an old To Kill a Mockingbird. Yeah, there's different publishing companies that do that, but I don't think you could just do it. Like I can't just say like I don't even think maybe the Bible. Maybe because that's duplicated a lot. People take verses and stuff from that, but
you can like I don't know what I'm trying to say. You can like quote things and repurpose them.
Yeah, it's like you can sample a book is what you're saying. Like you can sample a book.
But you can't do that with like a song.
No part of a song. Yeah.
Which is weird to me because it's very similar. Like you could take somebody else's idea but not an idea from their song and repurpose it without permission or payment or something like that.
Then you get into plagiarism and all that.
Yeah, but there's only so many combinations of melodies. There's only so many notes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you come up with a specific order of words that you say, why can you just stop somebody else from saying that order of words? I don't know. To me, it's weird. I think people should still get paid, but I think it should be more streamlined. And I don't think there should have to be permission. I think they should just automatically get paid. And maybe that's on its way with the way the digital economy is coming in.
Maybe because I mean people pretty much sell royalties. So if people are getting royalties, they're not going to complain. It's like it's when you just take it.
But some
and
people
make
do.
a ton of money.
Some people will not permit you to sample their song. I don't think they should be able to not permit you. I think if you want to, if you just straight jacket and then re-put it out exactly the way it is, then that's dumb. No. But if you're repurposing it in some manner and you say, okay, I sampled this song, there's an ID to it, I can type in, I sampled this song, pay that person the amount proportional.
Well, it gets crazier when you think about like you could prove like somebody gets a billboard or something. There's all sorts of metrics to say that billboard resulted in this many sales or something like that. With a piece of music, it's like people are listening to it, so you're getting money based on how many people listen to it. It's the money involved that makes it tough. Like there's the artist, there's gonna be people, yo, what are you copying me for? Like if I come out with something, I say give them 3 years, then you can bite my shit. Don't 3 months later come out with Bodak Yellow.
They'll do it the same day.
They'll come out with Bodak Green. It's like, wait,
same
but I'm
day.
still charting.
Same day.
Yeah, same day. Jeez, they'll retweet it. In fact, so how come with social you're allowed to take pieces of a book and then retweet that? No, but I mean, I hear what you're saying. I don't like the precedence of being able to take like any piece of a photographer's photograph. Like photography is like if that came from your camera, you own it. You know what I mean? Like I think that somebody should be able to take. Well, I don't know. Let me ask. Should you be able to take somebody's photo that's not edited and edit it and make it something beautiful and then be like, well, I took the raw.
Right.
But you like did the coloring and layered it and made it into an album cover. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I know how it works. They took the photo. If they want to be like, it was my photo, you never had the rights to edit it and modify it. But that's the sort of stuff that, like, it's not public domain. I forget the word for it, like laissez-faire. Like, it's like the common law of you own something if you created it without having to go and copyright it.
Right.
They have
but
some
the thing
protection
is,
like that.
Even with, like, photos, like, you took the photo, but you didn't, like, make the sky.
Yeah. I mean, there's models in likeness. I remember.
So it gets weird. I don't know. I don't know what to call it.
We did
and it, to me it relates to like music the same way. It's like you didn't create the C note.
Yeah.
You didn't create the G chord.
Well, Ed Sheeran just recently won that case where they were trying to put a precedent.
Yeah, there's only so many, and also this ties into AI. Once AI can recreate every combination at every tempo, in every key, who owns what then?
I think at that point it just falls back to a jury of your peers.
Yeah,
Like,
because there is a mathematical what's the word?
I know what you mean. There's music theory. Like there's
only so many combinations.
right.
So there's an end to at every tempo, at every key, at every progression, there's an end to it because there's only 12 notes. There's a lot of combinations, but only so many of them sound good together. So
What's up, Henry?
there's a mathematical end to it, and what's stopping an AI from
Just taking it all?
copywriting all of them?
Well, do you think they all sound good?
No.
There's probably some.
No, there's a bunch,
tempos
but they could copyright all of them.
Yeah, just copyright it. I think it should go back to a jury of your peers. Like, let's say that you wear this shirt on Tuesday,
Right.
and then on Tuesday, the same day, I wear another, or Wednesday, I wear something very similar. You gotta leave it to your peers to be like, yo, he's biting off Phaze. What is this? Like, you can't be like, if I wear a pink shirt today and tomorrow you wear like a slightly light, and be like,
Yeah,
oh, well,
but
mine is ruby, mine is salmon or something.
The thing
like,
is, then it's like you didn't invent pink. We all stand on the shoulders of the giants and our influences from,
right. That's why
from the past. So nobody's really. I mean, there's amalgamations of influences and stuff, but eventually,
you know if
and
someone's
there's
biting or
there's
not.
parallel thinking. So
You know if someone's biting or not.
eh,
The worst, though, I think, is when you
It's a
give
tough
someone
call.
an idea and they go and execute it, and you
Right.
be like, that was my idea. Like, dude, an idea is worth nothing. Like, an idea without execution is literally like,
yeah,
I don't know. But people might think that I bite. I'm sure there's influences in my style that I may or may not even know about. But I don't know. You just you got to do what feels right. Like, if you sample a beat, there's a difference between taking a sample, blending the pitch, changing this, cutting it up a little bit, making it say, you know what I mean? And that's a different sample than if you just straight up took the Sweet Child of Mine
Right.
riff and just threw a drum beat on top of it. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I think you pay homage to whatever. This is interesting, and let me know what you think about this. I saw an Instagram reel where they were like, Drake literally stole his whole career.
I seen
And
that,
they
I seen
took
that
like
one.
they took him, and I was like, dude, that's a tribute. People do that in hip hop all the time.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, it's like I do it too. Like, you do callbacks to your influences. So you take a lyric or a melody and you repurpose it and recontextualize it to your song for, like you said, paying homage to who influenced you.
did something with that. There's a certain feeling you get when you're real and you spit. That Eminem did something like that, where you just like take that. It's not that you're taking that line and then you change a little part of it, and
Right.
that's the part people are like, oh, he flipped that. Like, that's what we call it. Like, he flipped that. But I don't know. There's it's your peers. If the thing is that people will buy something that's clearly bitten and stolen, and who's to say, like, I don't know, you credit the people. And how many beats, like, if there's a beat just sitting there on the internet with no views and somebody takes it and makes it into a hit,
Mm-hmm.
at least if they credit the producer, it's like, man, cool, that beat was just sitting there.
Yeah. I don't know. It gets messy. It
How
gets
we-
messy. But
How we doing with time?
yeah, I think we got to start wrapping it up. So
What do you think, Henry?
Yeah, Henry's probably hungry.
Thank you for tuning in. I'll let you close it out. Let me just spit my
Yeah, go for it.
my tag. So Tony Ortiz, the designer, at To the Designer on all platforms, even on Threads. As long as that lasts.
Yep.
Hopefully this video lasts longer than Threads. But follow me, check me out on my podcast, I Will Not Lose Podcast.com, or just Google I Will Not Lose Podcast. It comes up now. That's all I got.
Yeah, man. So check Tony out. It's just a Phaze podcast. We'll be back more consistently, hopefully soon. And thank you.